Good evening, everyone. We are the third year students from the College of Health, Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics. My name is Vilma Enoveno, and my groupmate's name is Julian Alcantara. And I do believe po that most of you knew me already because most of you here are my friends. And thank you everyone for attending this program. This program po or presentation is part of our course, which is the Nutrition Education course under Memorable C. Palagtas, our department chair, and this program is also intended to share nutrition principles that somehow can help us in our daily living, especially when most of us here become a mother already. There will be two sessions po. I'll be the speaker for the first session and my group mate will be the speaker for the second session. Again, this program is about timely introduction to complementary food in infants 6 months and older. Timely introduction to complementary food is the provision of liquid, solid, or semi-solid food in addition to breast milk starting from the age of 6 months. But since this topic po is interrelated or interconnected to the different stages of life, my part will be about an overview about breastfeeding. What is breastfeeding? Why is it important? Why early immunization is important? And also the benefits of it to mother and child. And also some facts about breastfeeding. And my group mate will be the one who will share about timely introduction to complementary food. In Isaiah chapter 29 verses 15 to 26 said, "Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I engrave you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are ever before me." It's a very good scripture that we can reflect in our lives, that even our parents forget us, but the God in heaven said He will not forget us. And that is one of the promises God wants us to always bear in mind. Kung sometimes feeling natin walang nakakaalala sa atin, God is always here for us. So what is breastfeeding? Breastfeeding is the action of feeding a baby with milk from the breast. According to the definition of the World Health Organization, exclusive breastfeeding is the situation in which an infant receives only breast milk from her mother for the first 6 months of life and no other solids or liquids, with the exception of drops or syrups consisting of vitamins, minerals, supplements, or medicines. Breastfeeding is one of the most effective ways to ensure child health and survival. Breast milk is the ideal food for infants. It is safe, it is clean, and contains antibodies which protect against many common childhood illnesses. Breast milk provides all the energy and nutrients that the infant needs for the first months of life for and it continues to provide up to half or more of a child's nutritional needs during the second half of the first year and up to one-third during the second year of life. So why is it important? The protection, promotion, and support of breastfeeding rank among the most effective intervention to improve child survival. According to the World Health Organization, it is estimated that high coverage of optimal breastfeeding practices could avoid 13% of the 10.6 million yearly deaths of children 5 years old and below, and evidence on the importance of breastfeeding includes babies who were not breastfed in the first 6 months of their lives are 25 more times likely to die than those who experience exclusive breastfeeding from the time they were born. For infants not being breastfed, they're associated with an increased risk of or increased incidence of infectious morbidities, including pneumonia, as well as elevated risk of childhood obesity, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, leukemia, and many other chronic diseases later in life. Breastfeeding help defense against the breastfeeding helps the baby defense against infections, prevent allergies, and protect against a number of chronic conditions. Kasi you know why? During breastfeeding, antibodies and other germ fighting factors pass from a mother to her baby and strengthen the immune system, and they can achieve optimal growth and development and health. Meaning, babies who are exclusively breastfed receives the greatest health benefits. Breast milk has a unique combinations of vitamins or other nutrients and antibodies not found in formula milk. And unlike formula milk, breast milk changes as your baby grows. It provides exactly what your needs at each feeding and over time. And also the timing of initiation of breastfeeding is important as the higher risk of death among infants with longer delay in the initiation of breastfeeding. Hospitalized low birth weight infants who were fed with formula milk had 4 times the incidence of serious illness compared to those infants who were breastfed. Those infants that are formula fed kasi po, they can develop or can experience the following, like diarrhea, ear infections, lung infections, food allergies, asthma, sudden infant death syndrome, diabetes, heart disease, childhood obesity, and many others. Breastfeeding does not only save babies from death but also provides long-term benefits. Breastfed babies do better in school cognitive tests by as much as 4.9 points. Some studies suggest that there may be a difference in the brain development between the breastfed and formula-fed babies. This difference may be due to physical intimacy, touch, and eye contact associated with breastfeeding, as well as the nutrient content of the milk. The child benefits from these nutrients found in breast milk, such as DHA, arachidonic acid, omega-3, and 6 fatty acids, which are all essential for cognitive development. There are foods that can derive these nutrients, but since they are still young, of course we will not give them food that contains these nutrients because their body is unable to absorb, or their body or organ are not yet fully developed, and introducing foods or fluids other than breast milk to the baby before 6 months old can increase risk of illnesses instead, such as diarrhea, which can make her thin and weak and even be life-threatening na mga sakit. Why early initiation is important? Early initiation means the newborn is put to the breast within 1 hour of birth. Some babies die after birth because they were not breastfed immediately. Breastfeeding should be initiated at once, about 30 minutes after normal delivery, and about 3 to 4 hours after delivery by cesarean section. Providing breast milk within the first hour after delivery can save up to 22% of infants from death and about 16% when they are breastfed when within the first day, thus decreasing the rate of infant mortality significantly. Infants who were given early breastfeeding will have an opportunity to be more successful and sustain exclusive breastfeeding. In addition, babies who were breastfed immediately can help avoid the risk of hypothermia. Hypothermia means prolonged exposure to cold temperature, as the warmth of the mother's breast helps regulate the baby's body temperature and avoiding the risk of death due to cold. Also, babies that were placed on the mother's chest will be calmer as it reduces stress and stabilizes the heartbeat and breathing. So let's talk now the benefits of breastfeeding to mother. For the physiological benefits, breastfeeding promotes uterine involution, decreases the risk of postpartum hemorrhage, and increases the period of postpartum anovulation or having period without ovulation. During pregnancy kasi the uterus grows immensely. It's like parang feeling almost the interspace of our abdomen. And if you notice, those moms that after delivery, diba, you can observe that their abdomen is still big, and it's the effect of pregnancy. Na extend yung uterus. And the role of breastfeeding promotes uterine involution. Because when a mother breastfeeds, her body will produce more oxytocin, which will help the uterus return to its previous shape. But if she didn't breastfeed, it delays the process or the involution of the uterus. Breastfeeding also makes it easier for night to feed. Yes, it's very true. As you can imagine the difference between bottle feeding and breastfeeding. When you breastfeed, breast milk is always ready. It's always in the right temperature, and your sleep will not be disturbed because you are not going to get up from the bed and mix the formula. You will not also spend time cleaning and sterilizing the bottle. So breastfeeding is very convenient if we will compare it to formula feeding. So for the psychological benefits, breastfeeding promotes attachment between the mother and child and increases self-esteem to mother and allows daily rest for mothers. It is important also for the optimal health and development of the baby. Kasi when you are breastfeeding, of course, nagkaka-eye-to-eye contact kayo and physical touch, and also plus yung kiss-kiss. And also, breast milk provides every single nutrient in the development of the baby. And the bonding element, the thoughts, emotions, and vibration that helps the mother and baby bond for life. For the financial benefit, breastfeeding can save up as much as 2,000 pesos a month when compared to using other milks. And it also reduces time to lost to work because mothers do not have to absent themselves from work because breastfed babies are less likely to get sick. It also reduces costs for medicine for sick baby because breastfed infants do not get sick easily. So let's talk now about the benefits of breastfeeding to child. It provides protection from infection. Breast milk reduces the risk of acute infections such as diarrhea, pneumonia, ear infection, influenza, meningitis, and urinary tract infections. It also protects against illnesses. It protects against chronic disease in children such as allergies, diabetes, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's disease. Breastfeeding promotes child development and associated with lower risk factors for cardiovascular diseases, including high blood pressure and obesity later in life. So let's talk now about facts or some facts about breastfeeding. Practically, all mothers can breastfeed. Malnutrition among mothers is not a contradiction, as a malnourished mother produces the same quality or nutritional content of milk as well as nourished mother. Mother's breast milk is designed to provide and protect baby even in times of hardship and famines. Also, a mother produces enough breast milk for her baby. Almost all mother can produce enough milk as long as they have feed the baby as often as needed. It's a myth to tell that, for example, I have less production of breast milk and what will I do is to stop breastfeeding my baby kasi konti naman ang nalabas na gatas. So it's a myth. Kahit kasi the more na nagpapadede tayo, the baby's frequent suckling will stimulate further the production of breast milk. A baby's need to be fed is on demand. In the first day of life, babies need only 2 to 4 times a day. From about the third day onward, the baby starts to feed more often, or about 10 to 20 feedings in 24 hours. On the second week or so, most babies settle into a routine of their own feed 5 to 10 times a day, and from the third week onward, the number of feeding decreases to about one feeding at every 3 to 4 hours, and a mother should also offer her breast to the baby often. Babies are content with breast milk alone. Breast milk is adequate when the baby is satisfied after 15 to 20 minutes of feeding, fall asleep right away after each feeding, and sleeps for about 3 to 4 hours, and gain weight about half kilogram for the first 6 months and tripled by first year, and also urinates about 6 times a day. Breastfeeding does not cause the breast to sag. Breasts sag because of poor physical support during pregnancy and lactation. To prevent from sagging, mother can do breast exercise and use firm but comfortable brasier. A nursing brasier can be used during breastfeeding. Breast size is not important in producing milk. The size of the breast does not determine the quantity of milk, even if she has small breasts. Frequent suckling of the baby stimulates milk production. A mother can breastfeed even when she is sick. It is safest to breastfeed an infant even if the mother is sick or tired from work or even after doing household chores. The baby will not suck her sickness or her tiredness because the mother's body makes antibodies and her milk contains antibodies to protect the baby. Breast milk do not produce sour or spoiled milk. Breast milk is always fresh and never spoiled in the breast. The quality of the milk is the same in both breasts, and future mothers must be reassured of this and encouraged to feed the baby on both breasts during each feeding. And the colostrum is not dirty and should not be thrown away. Colostrum is very nutrient dense and high in antibodies and antioxidant to build a newborn baby's immune system. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless everyone.